Hey everybody, I just got home from work, just got out of the shower. It's a super short video, and maybe I'll do one later. But all I want to say is blast off. And I just got a feeling, guys. Get ready for blast off. Just a feeling. And it could be wrong. I've been wrong before, but I just got a weird feeling just came over me. The whole last 2 months, you've noticed I haven't made that many videos, and basically it's just because I've just felt very blah about the market. I just didn't feel any excitement. Um, hey, everybody, what's up, man? Everybody for tuning in. This is going to be a real short video. I was actually just going to come on here, hit start video, and say blast off, and then end video, because that's basically my message for today. But man, we got people logging in here, so I don't know. Maybe I will talk for a minute, but why I have this feeling, I don't know. It's just different. Like I said, I haven't done videos the last couple of months, many at all, just because I just something mental, just a feeling I had over me where, you know, I wanted to talk good, like confident, but deep inside I really was not confident. But I didn't want to say negative things about the cryptocurrency market. Not that I wanted to try to BS, because in my brain, I'm feeling like there's no reason for cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin to be going down. I mentally cannot figure it out. But just kind of in my heart, I had this feeling that it's just staying the same. It's not doing anything. We've got all these exciting um, things about to go live, backed and Fidelity, and maybe hodl it in October, and hopefully, and maybe Goldman Sachs, and we got the Libra coin. Once that goes live, it's going to be bringing in just ordinary people. It's going to be introducing them to cryptocurrencies, and they're going to start dabbling and buying some Bitcoin and Litecoin. And guys, I actually went ahead and I bought some Litecoin. Just this feeling, just this flood of a feeling just came over me. I can't explain it, but it said blast off. It was just a great feeling. Again, I'm not a financial um, planner or anything by any means. This is just a pure feeling that came over me, almost like an instinct, like when an animal is feels like something's following it, and it knows to run or hide or turn around and get ready to fight, or just like one of those weird feelings came over me, and it said blast off. And I picked up a whole bunch of Litecoin. I sold some of my Bitcoin. I bought a whole bunch of Litecoin, and I got it right around $65, and I've just got a feeling. I know that it's not based on anything. I mean, it is based on, like I said, the things that are going to go live, but back went live and the market went down. Back's volume again today, I think currently, let me check on Back's volume. The first day it was about 73 tokens. The next day it was about 260. Next day it was back in the 70s again, 78, 80, something like that. Then the next day it was like 150. So it hasn't really been as explosive as I thought it was going to be. But let me just see where Backed is right now. They're at, refresh, 165 Bitcoin traded today. So look, that doesn't seem like a lot, but it's 165 more that were traded a week ago, right? And I just have a feeling when these big money people on Back, people with hundreds of thousands of dollars to invest in Bitcoin, if this market starts to take off, that they may actually have their first experience of cryptocurrency FOMO. And like I know, it's contagious, and cryptocurrencies are contagious. And once they taste the rise, if it does blast off here, they're going to be hooked. And once they're hooked and they start pumping money into this market as well, it's just a good things happening here, people. But anyway, I just wanted to come on here, and does anybody want to talk about any conspiracies? I actually just came home from work. It's Friday, a little tired. Y'all probably have something else, some things better to do than hang out with me. But hey, we got somebody who's cuckoo for Bitcoin and Litecoin. SB, Yes, sir. Me too. Um, but let me have a sip. Somebody bought me this beer, Guinness Draft Stout, and it was a six pack, and they bought it for me about 6 months ago. This is the last one. I'm not. Oh man, these dark, heavy beers. For some reason, I just have a hard time putting them down. I wonder what the alcohol content is on this. I'm imagining that it's probably pretty heavy if it's a stout. Isn't it supposed to say on here? Anyway, it's my first one. It's not like I've been drinking all day. I just got home from work, decided to crack open a beer. Cheers, everyone! It's Friday. We made it. We made it to the weekend. Hope nobody has to work this weekend. Um, Guinness is a meal. You're correct. You got to almost chew it when you swallow it. It doesn't just go down. You got to like kind of gnaw through it a little bit. All right. Let me join you with that beer. Hold up, Joe. Hey, Prosy. I know it's the weekend. It feels good sometime to get to the weekend when you've been working hard all week. Ah, that's so let's see. What was in what are they talking about in the news now? What are they talking about? Impeaching Trump. They're talking about Joe Biden's son making $50,000 a month for working for a energy company in the Ukraine or somewhere over there. And if and Biden made some type of a deal with the government over there a few years ago when he was the vice president, saying if they're going to investigate my son, then we're not going to give you the $1 billion in government grant money that the U.S. was going to give you. I don't know. What else is in the news? Anybody else got anything? The UN girl speech. Oh my gosh, guys! I don't know how you feel about global warming, but let me give you both sides of the story. All right, both sides of the point of view here on global warming. So you've got and guys, don't hate on me for having an opinion on this because I'm not going to stress my opinion, but hopefully I'm just going to have you all think a little bit differently about it. Um, so global climate change is actually something that they've been talking about since the 50s, right? Um, First, it was an ice age. So one of the first things that they teach you when you're in about third, fourth grade. I know when I was in third, fourth grade, they showed me a movie about the ice caps melting, flooding, this, that, and the other thing. Um, how global warming is going to affect the Earth, and then it was going to be global freezing, like a giant volcano went off and put smoke over, and the sun couldn't get through, and we're going to have an ice age, and now it's back to just climate change. Well, let me tell you first of all the reasons why they're talking about climate change so much right now. Um, it's because the elite, who I talk about a lot, they have plans. They go to these big conferences and meeting where they all huddle together and they make their plans for what they want to have happen in the world. Basically, their plans revolve around how do we make the poor people more dependent on us because they've got all the money in the world. They don't need any more money. Money doesn't matter to them. I'm not talking about the people that make $100,000 a year. I'm talking about the people who have billions of dollars, people that own the the national banks, like the Rothschild family, own the banks, right? The central banks of almost every country. If they want more money, they just say, okay, let's print out more money and put it in my account. I mean, they don't even need to print it. They just type in a number and boop, boop, boop. Money is no object. They own all the real estate. If you ever want to hear a cool rant, and if you haven't heard it yet, put on George Carlin talks about we're not in the club, right? And he talks about how the rich people own this, that, and the other thing. They have all the government officials in their pockets, all the judges in their pocket. They're part of this club, this elite club, and we're not in it. Us regular people aren't in it. Even wealthy entertainers are not in it. There's a select few that I believe are in it, and they're in it simply because they're being used to influence us sheep. I hate to call us sheep, but for the most part, the general public doesn't have enough time to really investigate what's really going on. And when their favorite celebrity comes out and has an opinion on something, they tend to kind of side with their celebrity because all their friends are kind of siding with the celebrity, but there's nothing real substantial behind it, right? So anyway, global warming is something that they're trying to use to control us sheep, the population. They're trying to use it to pass something called carbon credits. If you have not looked up carbon credits, that's something that you need to look into. A carbon credit is something that each country, not each country, but select countries are going to be required to use almost only a certain amount of electricity um, each year or month or week or whatever, however they're going to, I guess monthly, right? And once the household or the business or the factory goes over the amount of electricity that they're allowed to use, they have two choices. Either their electricity gets shut off or they get to purchase carbon credits. Carbon credits um, buys them more pollution and carbon to have their energy turned back on, to keep their factory up and running, to keep their household heated or air conditioned, or their business lights on, whatever it may be. But that's the whole thing behind a carbon credit. It's going to keep people, businesses, large businesses under the control of these elites. So they can actually choose which countries they want to succeed and which ones they want to struggle. Okay? Um, it's a power move. It's nothing at all about the environment. If they were really worried about climate change and warming and ice caps melting, then they wouldn't be building their multi-million-dollar mansions right on the coastline. Because if what they say is supposed to happen in 7 years or less, or 12 years, like AOC says, that we're going to have floods coming in and oceans rising, no one who truly believes that would build a mansion on the beach. And no insurance company would insure any high-rise condos, any kind of building on the beach if they were really sincerely afraid that the waters were going to rise from uh, ice caps melting. Okay, I want you to think about that. Would you insure a house that was going to be built on the beach? Probably not. So um, that is one of the first clues that this whole climate change thing is BS. Second is going to be Al Gore had a movie when I was in my probably 20s, probably about 20 years ago, where he came out and he talked about the polar bears floating on sheets of ice because they're not able to, the ice broke off and they're stranded. Well, that's how polar bears hunt. They go out on a piece of ice and they look for seals and other aquatic life that they can grab and eat. Um, Polar bears are amazing animals. They can sustain cold for hours and miles at a time. So they're not stranded out there by any means. They're actually the polar bear population has 5x in the last since that movie was made, right? So the polar bears are not dying off. The Now, when they show you pictures of the ice caps melting, they always show you that in the summertime, where the ice caps do get smaller because it's warmer and they do melt. But then in the wintertime, they're actually larger than they've been in like the last 100 years. So they trick you. They're trying to intentionally fool the American public into thinking that there's global warming. And yes, there are hot days, days that are hotter than others, days that break records for heat. There's also days in the winter that break records for cold. I mean, last winter was a terrible winter. It was freezing cold. So we're in the summer and we think, oh my gosh, it's so hot, it must be global warming. But then in the winter, you know, it kind of people don't talk about it as much. But so anyway, they want to use these carbon credits to control countries, and mainly countries like America, because we are so successful and so rich. They want to knock us down a few pegs. They want to bring us down reduce our carbon emissions and let other countries that are not doing as well or they're more under their control already to succeed. So they'll give them more free energy. So it's all a power grab. It's all a control. It's all about removing our freedom. And that's going to be my message for today. Guys, without freedom, you don't have anything. Anytime anyone tries to take your freedom away, you got to fight it. I don't care if it's, we're actually going to have a meeting tomorrow where I live where they want to limit rental units in our complex and our townhouse units here. Um, and you know what? It's not even an issue right now. The values are going up. There's no problem with people trashing the places. Um, so just for this plain and simple fact that I am against them taking my freedom away of my choice to rent or live here, as of now, I don't think that it's an issue. So I'm going to go there and I'm going to make us think about it. Anyway, but it's more important. That's just a small example, but the big examples are in society when they want to take your freedoms away. They want to take your words that you can say. You know, you're not allowed to say parent, you're not allowed to say mother, you're not allowed to say father because you might offend somebody that doesn't have a parent or a mother or a father. You're not allowed to say this word or that word. You know what? I hope all that gets thrown right out the window. Um, when these people who try to push that stuff try to push it, I think we should just push back. That's just my opinion. Um, but as they take freedoms, once it becomes the norm, then you see they're never happy. They want to move on and take the next freedom from you. Um, and that is just the start of like a socialist 1984 Big Brother type of a movement. My daughter's even experiencing it in college. She's an RA, and they want her to report on kids and their relationships with their parents and if they're happy or sad. I mean, what business is it of the student government to know the emotions of the people? They're not trying to find out if they're like school shooters or anything like that. They just want to know information that should be private about these students. And they're asking my daughter to report it back to them. And I told her not to do it, make up some excuse or whatever it is. But the whole world is getting very, very nosy and very snoopy and trying to take away all our freedoms and things that should be held private. You know, it's in the Constitution, and what people want to bash the Constitution as being old fashioned. But in my opinion, we're the only country that has a Constitution, and countries who don't wish that they did, and they wish that they had our Constitution. So please, before you bash it, actually look at it and look why it was put in place. The founders put it in place for reasons. They put the First and Second Amendment as the First and Second Amendment because they thought that they were the most important. Electric car Tesla agenda. So electric cars, I've talked about these before. So basically, they want to get to the point where we have self-driving cars, right? And how they're going to take our freedom away with these self-driving cars is anyone who has a manually driven car in the future is going to be charged a much higher rate of insurance, almost a rate where you're not able to even afford to have a car that you drive yourself. And they're going to say because people are too unreliable, they're too unsafe, and that the automatic driven cars are safer, so they're going to get lower insurance. Or you're just going to end up leasing it or renting it, or it's going to be more like a ride share type of a thing in the future where we're just going to have money that we pay towards it like a tax. Um, and it's probably going to be taken out in cryptocurrencies. Um, but that's in the future. So once you don't have a car to drive, a lot of people are fine. They think, hey, that's fine, no big deal. So I'll just have this car and it'll take me where I want to go, and I can read a book or I can listen to music or take a nap, or if it's a long trip, eat and do whatever I want while I drive. That's great. Well, the thing is with the social credit score, what I've talked about before is they're going to limit your travel. They're going to tell you that you can't leave the state or that you can't leave your town. That you have to stay in a suburban setting. Once you get outside of the suburban setting, the car won't go any further. So you're not going to be able to take road trips. You're not going to be able to drive across country. You're not going to have those freedoms that you have currently. And you're not going to have your own car because it's too expensive to insure. So you're basically going to be stuck. That's one idea, and they could pick out individuals that, you know, now with AI and social credit scores, you said something against the government that we don't like, then your car privileges are turned off completely. You know, then what do you do? What are you going to do? People don't think about this kind of stuff as far as in the future, but it's just one of those things. You know, actually, when Elon Musk came out, he sounded like he was pretty cool and for people and stuff like that. But now he's talking about everybody's going to have a chip and wires in their brain. They're going to start selling them next year to the public. Um, it's all based on taking away your belief in, taking away your soul, basically, taking away your belief in God. That's what all of this is really based on. I can get deeper into it, but I'm not going to tonight. Um, let's just carbon tax here. Oh, you have a carbon tax in Canada already? I know Canada is really turning socialist, and anything that the UN passes, they're probably on board with. Um, Public Awakening. Hello, y'all. What's up, Public Awakening? Talk, crypto talk. Oh, you want me to talk about cryptos? All right. Well, maybe I'll talk a little bit more about cryptos. Let me read the rest of the. As you're talking, Bitcoin is rising, huh? Hey, I told you, I just got a feeling. It's weird. I can't explain it. But the last 2 months, I've just been like, ugh, cryptocurrency. Yeah. I try to come on here and get people hyped up and pepped up, and in my heart, I just like, God, this just doesn't. I have no excitement. But just today, just about, how long is that? Have I been on here? 22 minutes, maybe 30 minutes ago. I was just like, you know what? I just feel like it's ready to go up, go crazy, just blast off. Just his feelings. And I could be wrong, it could be just a sucker's rally or something, but it's just a weird feeling I had, just different than I felt the whole last 2 months about cryptocurrencies. Um, the day you're going to want to go somewhere you can't, that's when you realize yeah, that's the thing with freedom. You think that all this stuff is fine and cool and hey, it doesn't affect me, but once it affects you and it's too late to do anything about it, then that's when it really hits you and you're like, what did I do? What have we done? You know? Um, the Reverend shows why bad things can, and you have good people really read only if you want to, not pushing. Violet says if you want to read Revelations 12:9 through 12. Revelations is a really, it's a difficult book to read. I've read it, and hey guys, my family's here. I'm going to log out here, but everybody, love y'all. God bless. Please like, subscribe, give me a thumbs up. Kiss your spouse. Uh, kiss your boyfriend, girlfriend. Hug your kids. Pet your pets. God bless each and every one of you. Yes, freedom for all, SB. Take care, everybody. I'm not sure if I'm going to talk this weekend. If I do, I do. All right. Love y'all. Bye now.